My GF Ann, 25, and I, 25, have been dating the past 5 years, since college. After graduation, we were semi-long distance, living close enough that we alternately visited almost every weekend. In 2018, Ann got a job in my city, and we found a place and moved in together. Now's a good time to mention the security cameras in our house. Break-ins are unfortunately common where we live. We thus got some motion-activated cameras, one of which has a view of our kitchen, to monitor the back door. The cameras only record when there's motion so they can retain footage for a very long time. Ann of course knows this. About a year ago, Ann started complaining I wasn't contributing equally to chores. I've been obsessive about chores my whole life. Growing up, not doing the dishes meant no video games for a week. When I lived with roommates, I was always the chore master, making damn sure we all stuck to our chore wheel. Ann is just as fastidious about chores, so we just naturally alternated who did what. I'd just been brushing her remarks off, but over the last few months they've become much more aggressive. For example, I was vacuuming and Ann said, "Look at you finally cleaning up around here." I replied that we alternated vacuuming, to which she retorted, "No, you've vacuumed maybe twice since I moved in." Exchanges like this have been happening so frequently that I began to doubt my own recollection. Am I not as clean as I thought? Finally, she exploded at me last week. She said that having to stay home constantly over the past weeks exposed how little I do around the house, and that she didn't move in just to be my maid. Questioning my own sanity, I spent a few hours going through the entire 1.5-year archive of security camera footage, and tallied the exact number of times the kitchen cam caught each of us doing dishes. Our cleaning supplies, vacuum/mop/etc., are in the kitchen pantry, so I also tallied up how many times we grabbed cleaning stuff. To my vindication, the tally showed that we indeed split chores equally. She vacuumed/mopped 5 more times than I did. I did dishes 20 more times than she did. Given that we vacuum/mop at least once a week and do dishes at least every day, these are insignificant differences over the year and a half we've lived together. When I confronted Ann, she shrugged off her behavior as remembering things differently, but the real sin here was what I did, which she called an unforgivable violation of her privacy, akin to abusive stalking. She has broken up with me and is trying to move out, although obviously this is difficult due to current circumstances. I'm totally heartbroken. Ann was the love of my life and I can't believe she destroyed our relationship like this. To make matters worse, she told many of our friends, who are mostly siding with her. They've been texting me that what I did was creepy, abusive, controlling, invasive, etc. I'm at a loss. I'm beginning to think I'm the one who's off base here. Not the idiot. If Ann wasn't aware the cameras were there, sure, I could see her having a point. But if you know you're being recorded, you know the person you're living with has access to those recordings. While it may be out of the ordinary, it's certainly not idiot behavior for your partner to actually go over said recordings. My guess is this relationship was on the rocks and this is all Ann needed to justify leaving. As long as she knew about the cameras, which you made it seem like she did, then not the idiot. To me it looks like she was already looking for a way out and she thought she could pin it in you not helping around the house, which is a pretty common complaint against male partners. She was trying to find a reason to get mad at you, possibly make you get mad at her, and have that be a legitimate reason for one of you to end the relationship. Easier to end a relationship with someone you're mad at. It's a super immature, but I would say decently common, tactic for someone who wants out of an otherwise fine relationship to initiate a breakup. You're the idiot. I am surprised I have not read anything regarding this. Yes, she knows about the cam, but it was to record someone breaking in and not looking who is doing what. Yes, you invaded her privacy in her house. Why not mention the footage and asking to look together or at least get positive answer? If my partner would pull out such a stunt, I would ask myself what she already have done to control me or my behavior and what may happen in the future if I think differently about a topic. I hope you try to get her position before it is too late. Some backstory. My mom has always wanted a daughter. Instead, she ended up with 2 sons and 6 grandsons. 16 years ago, a young woman with a 2-year-old daughter, let's call the daughter Lily, moved across the street from her. She was a single mom and didn't have any family in the area, so my mom offered to help take care of the little girl while her mom worked/studied. Over the years, she's become an adoptive mom/grandmother to this woman and her daughter. She was there when the woman married her husband and had 2 more girls together. She's very close to the whole family, but especially Lily. My mom was born and raised in Italy. My dad was French. My brother and I don't speak any French or Italian. Lily is not only fluent in French and Italian, but she knows more about the culture than me or my brother, and she knows all of my mom's recipes. My mom also helped pay for her private school tuition because she doesn't like the public schools in the area. Lily, my son, and my nephew graduated from high school in May. My son and my nephew each got a card and a check for $300. My mom took Lily to Europe for 8 weeks over the summer. I got to my mom's house with my sons last night. We planned on staying for a few days because we live 8 hours away. I was parked in the driveway, then right before dinner my mom told me I needed to move my car so Lily could park in her driveway. I said Lily could park on the street, but my mom said no, the driveway is Lily's spot and I have to move, so I told my sons to get our bags and we went home. My mom has been calling me since last night asking me to come back and saying I overreacted to being asked to move my car. I refused and my sons and I are celebrating without her, but I'm starting to wonder if I was the idiot for leaving when my mom told me to move my car. Not the idiot, as we sat around here, this isn't about the Iranian yogurt. This is a reaction to years of feeling second class to Lily because, as sons, you somehow did not fulfill some weird desire of your mom's preferred genitalia. I'm sorry you've all felt this way for so long. It's hard to watch your mom seemingly show someone else more affection than they do to you. Have you ever actually laid it all out for her like you have here for us? You are the idiot. You have your own house and still feel the need to engage in this pissing contest? You do understand that since you have supposedly grown up and have your own life with your own driveway, your mother still has authority in her house. She can decide to share her time and space with whoever she chooses, and that includes the use of her driveway. Or you feel that you need to exert your place in the pecking order so a 16-year-old knows that you're petty AF? Cause that what this seems. You wouldn't move your car, so instead you drove 8 hours. That's not rational or reasonable. Grow up. You're the idiot. You're being a baby. Who cares who is favorite? This happens all the time in families. Do you think you are entitled to have a personal parking spot just because you came out of your mom? I learned this the hard way. Parents have their own lives once you move on with yours. They can let whomever they want park in their own driveway. Focus on the time together, with your sons, not whether she is fair. If you spent more time with her, maybe you'd have the driveway spot. She obviously created community with her neighbors, and for her not disrupting that works. So, my fiancé, maybe not for much longer, and I were on our way back from a vacation recently. It was a great time and everything went off without an issue. That is until we started boarding the plane. Now, I know better. I only bring a small backpack with essentials in case I don't get my checked bags. I can survive out of this backpack and it will always pass baggage check for size and weight. Done a lot of traveling, so why fight the system? My fiancé didn't want to listen to my advice and chose to bring basically a regular full-size bag that barely fits the standards of carry-on. But generally speaking, the airline worker doesn't want to deal with the trouble and allows it through. But this time the airline worker was not having it. It was a packed flight, we were boarding last in economy and it was just a crap show. I got through just fine first with my little backpack, but I could hear the argument from the boarding tunnel thingy and it was getting heated. I was about to go back and try to smooth it out, but my fiancé rushed past and just boarded plane. I assumed, not having heard it super clearly, that the attendant had given in and let her on. That was not the case. So we found our seats and settled in. I was pretty tired and I could tell she was upset, so I just kinda tucked into the window and put my hat down and tried to take a nap. But soon after, the airline worker and a cop shows up and they are not messing around, and want her off the plane. She tries to plead and cry, etc., but they are not having it. And maybe in a moment of panic or just plain self-preservation, the cop asks if we're together, and I blurt out, "No," shaking my head emphatically. I got killed dagger eyes from her as she shot up and grabbed her bag and followed the cop out. She was also swearing and screaming the whole way out. Now, obviously this is well after the event I'm posting this. But when she did eventually get home, she caught next flight out with the bag checked. Lol, I was there to pick her up. She obviously thought I was the idiot, and to be honest, almost everyone I know thinks I'm an idiot except my boss and co-workers, who for context were very much relying on me to be back on time, which I gave my word I would. for a really important project that was time sensitive. They were all very happy I didn't get thrown off too. So, am I the idiot for this self-preservation? Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, and please seriously consider whether you want events like this to be a normal part of your life, because someone who reacts like that when she knows she is in the wrong is not going to change. Although if not for the work thing and if you wanted to save the relationship, you should have gotten off with her. Not because she was anyway in the right, but because she is going to hold this over your head and sulk for a very long time. I think it's hilarious. I fly a lot both for work and with my family and 2 small kids, and people like her make it hard for everyone. Air travel is so stressful already. She acted like a lunatic and made it so much worse. I had friends get in big trouble once for trying to bring fresh fruit back from overseas. That's a no-no. I told them they couldn't, they didn't listen, and when we went through security at customs they found it and made them throw it away. The wife argued and made a big stink and we just walked away. You warned her. Plus her behavior would have negatively affected you had you missed your flight. Now that's not to say she won't break up with you, but she should have learned a lesson. Everyone's the idiot here. I don't know about your culture, but me and my husband always wait for the other and board the plane together. So that's where you messed up. But man, your probably to-be ex-fiancé is a handful. How can she expect to be treated with any respect or consideration if she just wouldn't give a damn about cabin luggage specifications, why they are necessary, and dismiss the staff? It's good that you got to see this side of hers before you tied the knot. So yeah, tread carefully from now on and decide what kind of a partner do you want to spend the rest of your life with.